Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. This podcast proudly presents to you the zero-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, JJ Brownlee, the Badass, JB Faulkner, Total Spotfest Live, with the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
And welcome back to Total Spotfest Live. I am JJ Brownlee. With me by my side is my trusty co-host. If you watched our pay-per-views, he is our Total Spotfest Live NXT pay-per-view champion, Mr. Jamie Faulkner.
You can call me Billy Zane right now. It'll make sense later. Or if you watched our WrestleMania podcast.
I'm definitely not calling you that. We are joined by a guest. I don't want to call him a special guest, because I'm still mad that he is our WWE Total Spotfest Live pay-per-view champion. He is the ninth wonder of the world, Nick.
Yeah, special or not, I am a guest of distinction.
Well, sure. We'll go with that. It might be a reach. Thank you guys for joining us. This is Total Spotfest Live. This is our Tuesday podcast. We are going to be giving you an update here shortly, but we're going to talk about the fallout of WrestleMania, the Raw After Mania, and go through some news and some other things going on in the wrestling world. So thank you, as I said, for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you like what you see, give us a like, give us a subscribe down below. We do appreciate it. Please give us a comment if you like. You can join the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Total Spotfest. Of course, me and Jamie have our own Twitters listed below. If you want to yell at us individually, please feel free. You can't do that to Nick, because he is, as we know, Captain Antisocial over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I said this earlier, but I want to make sure everybody knows that you look so good in your Christian Bale from Newsies cosplay going on. I mean, so good, right?
Yeah, I'm prepping for Crypticon. I'm gonna, catch everybody off guard. They're gonna be dressed like Jason and Michael Myers, and I'm gonna show up as a newsie.
Feels right.
You should get prop papers that have like the news headlines about the horror movies and
Bill Skins Fifth.
Oh man, that's
amazing. A great idea, right? That's a really good idea.
I'm here for it.
Boom! I nailed it. So,
well done, sir.
All right, we're gonna get right into it. For those of you that joined us for our NXT Takeover and WrestleMania reviews, thank you very much. We're gonna pick up basically where we left off there, because this is the fallout from Mania. If you did not, you check them out on our YouTube. We have them on all our podcast channels as well. We released them yesterday, both of them concurrently, so please give it a review. Overall, it was a pretty good weekend of wrestling, wouldn't you say, gentlemen?
It was pretty good overall.
I enjoyed it. WWE surprised the hell out of me.
Jamie and me had a really good time. Nick was less irritated than usual.
Well, yeah, I stayed with it, and that's more than WWE could ask for.
Right. But as a spoiler, though, Jamie and myself were, especially NXT, we were in love with. And WrestleMania, half of it was fantastic. The other half was better than what they usually do. So It is what it is. But tonight we're gonna move right along. So let's talk about tonight, because this is our last in our current format. So what we're going to be doing, we took a poll of our Twitter followers and asked everybody that listens to us, give us some feedback, right? So the results from that are as such. We found that with a resounding number one, everybody wanted us to continue talking about AEW above all, okay? It was by far the most commented, most requested. It won the poll easily, hands tied behind its back, right? So our Thursday AEW podcast is going to stay the exact same way that it is. So I was talking about Dynamite every week. Of course, we're always going to do the pay-per-views for AEW. We're going to still do those special pay-per-view episodes as well for NXT and for the Big Four from WWE, Still going to put those out there. But this part of our podcast, Tuesday, is going to change just a little bit. So we based on our feedback, instead of splitting up into a bunch of small podcasts, which we don't want to do because time, right? And the feedback we got from everybody, this is going to morph into more of an extensive kind of overview podcast episode. So Tuesdays, we're going to do our news for the week, instead of trying to lump it in on both of our shows. We're going to do a news segment. We're going to talk about Impact and New Japan on each Tuesday podcast as well. Maybe not necessarily a run through of the whole show of Impact every week. They do air on Thursdays now, so, but give you an update, let you know what's going on, some of the workings. There's tons of movement, especially with the way that New Japan, Impact, AEW have their relationship now. So comings and goings, we'll talk about that. We'll do a section as well talking about New Japan, because New Japan, as Jamie especially has mentioned, has a lot of cool stuff happening. So we'll definitely have a little section where we're going to talk about Impact. We're going to talk about New Japan. We're still going to talk about WWE. We're still going to make mention of noteworthy things that happened from SmackDown, Raw, and maybe a little bit of a segment on NXT as well, but just not as long and drawn out as it has been, because the feedback we got is that small bite-sized pieces of WWE may be what the people were actually wanting more. So we're going to do this and check it out. Let us know. Give us a comment on these videos, or give us a tweet on Twitter if you are not watching us on YouTube. Let us know what you think about this. Do you think this is a good idea? Would you rather see certain promotions more than others? Would you rather see more split off individually, where we do an individual podcast talk about one or the other? Give us your thoughts, because we're always listening to feedback. We want to do this, we do this for fun, but we also want to do this for the people that actually spend the time to actually listen to us and watch us. We want to hear what you have to say, and if you like the content, that's great. And if you think we could do something better, we always will take constructive criticism. So starting next week, that's what we're going to move to. The days are staying the same, Tuesday, Thursday. So that's a good thing, because I don't have to make new graphics for our YouTube or anything at all. It's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and we're going to try this for a little bit, see how we roll with it. So you guys kind of excited to move out and kind of branch out to be a little more broad talking?
Hell
did
yeah.
Did you take my idea of having an ASMR segment every week into advisement?
We took it in an advisement, and then we threw it into the trash can. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a spoiler for next week. We're giving Nick his own segment.
We'll do,
It's not that. But we're giving Nick his own segment. It may be an exercise in futility, but we'll see what happens. This could be cool. This could be fun.
Give each other, like chest chops,
Hey, speaking of knife edge chops, Audrey, my youngest, is amazing at knife edge chops. Like,
that's awesome.
Every day.
Really?
Every
You're
morning.
a good father.
Yeah, every morning she comes up, gets up on the bed, and has me stand across from her, and she puts her hand on me like this, and then she rears back, and goes whack, and
That's awesome.
And like she won't stop until she makes the perfect sound, and then she stops. Which I have to flex, because she's got a small little hand, and I don't have much to flex, but I'm just saying, it's like it had to have that real nice pop, or she would just keep going.
Wait, does she do this to wake you up, or does this?
No, like we're
okay. Because I'm like,
morning.
wow,
Yeah.
you are.
It's just a show of affection, is all that is.
Yeah.
What's her favorite movie again?
Her favorite movie is Bloodsport.
He's raising her right, guys. Raising her right.
Yeah.
By the time she's 9, she's going to be doing leg slap super kicks. So it's going to be a thing.
Oh, they
training for Kumite.
All my girls know how to do that. Well, actually, by the time she's 9, I full on expect her to be able to put one of her sisters in a lion tamer.
That was shocker. Jamie wants to see, because you're not going to see a lion tamer on TV anywhere. You might as well see one in your house. Not even AEW. You're not going to see. So, all right, let's get right to it then. So we're going to do a quick little news segment. Jamie's going to talk about New Japan for a second. I'm going to talk about some Impact stuff, and then we're going to talk about Raw after Mania. This is usually the best Raw of the year, right? It's one of those segment key moments. Well, without the fans, we'll see. So a couple highlights I want to talk about first. So speaking of Mania, there's things that we didn't necessarily touch on everything during our review. One of them that I missed that I probably should have was the Bellas making their return to WrestleMania pay-per-view and proceeding to get booed like a son of a bitch. Loved every second of that. There was this, Bailey came out, and Bailey got a huge pop. She came out to kind of interrupt, your hosts, Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan at the end, before like the main event of night 2 or whatever. They're saying thank you to the fans. She came out to interrupt them, called them losers and dead weight. She carried the whole duties. Love Bailey, and the Bellas music hit. They came out to kind of put Bailey in her place, and the fans just let them have it. I thought that was fantastic. So, yay for Bellas getting booed.
It did make my heart happy.
I know, right? Nick,
But
did
the best line, was when Bailey's like, and
Bailey
just so
gave a
you
good
know,
line.
John Cena's not here tonight.
You know it was coming. You knew it was coming.
It was great. It was so
That's
great.
the low
Sorry,
hanging fruit.
you broke kayfabe on that, Nikki. That's forever going to be a thing that's going to be thrown at you whenever you make your face back in WWE. Hey, fair game. So, speaking of WWE as well, I can't remember who wrote this. I saw it on Wrestle Talk, and I think I saw it on Wrestling Inc. as well. But interesting, there was somebody who noted that excluding NXT UK, okay, so just the American version, just American versions of WWE, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. 13 out of the 16 titles are held by heels.
Hell yeah, they are.
And I found that interesting. I was like, as 50-50 as WWE tends to be, that was a higher number than I expected. Mm-hmm. But some of them are like, are they really heels? Do we know what's going on? Like Rhea Ripley, like she was a heel like one night, and who knows what's going on with that. Anyway.
Yeah, every belt changed hands except for 3.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, both the men's big titles, the heavyweight titles,
right,
and then the women's tag team. Every other one changed hands, other than hold on, the
Universal
SmackDown
didn't change hand.
No, that's what I'm saying. The big ones didn't. The big ones didn't. Universal didn't. The heavyweight championship and then the women's tag team champions. They were the only ones who retained at WrestleMania weekend because SmackDown doesn't count.
Okay,
because it was on its own show.
Okay. So
every other one
are ruling
women's,
that.
Women's,
both women's,
United States, Intercontinental, yeah, all the women,
Raw tag teams,
tag team, all of those.
I thought there was a lot of title changes, but I didn't put all the math together. So very interesting, very uncharacteristic. I mean, first of all, a WrestleMania that was mostly wrestling. And then you have all these title changes. Very un-WWE, let's be honest.
Yeah, and this is the first time in like 5 years that the Royal Rumble winner did not win the title. I think it's something like that.
Really? The men's, you mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. Fun facts with Jamie. Coming at you every week. Also, the numbers were in WrestleMania SmackDown. Surprisingly got over 2 million viewers. It was 2.08 million. Yeah, I know. I was like,
I wasn't one
really? I watched it like half-assed, and it was a terrible show. But okay, sure, great. Good for you, Fox. There was a Miro sighting at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. He's not coming back. He was there to support his wife, so that was cool, though. I think that did you watch either of you watch the Chris Jericho Broken Skull session?
About a half hour of it.
You did? Mm-hmm. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was editing.
Oh, it's great. What I've seen of it, it's awesome.
I was planning on watching it tonight.
The one clip that I read online about it was a quick little quip he said about AEW, and he's basically said this in the past, but he said that he doesn't view AEW and WWE as competitors because it's two different things. And in a way, I agree with him. I thought about the analogy after I read that. I was doing some work around after work today, working on a project at my house, and I thought about that, and I was like, it's kind of like if you think about it. Major League Baseball and the NBA, they're not really competitors. They're both professional sports, but they're not really competitors because they're different flavors of sports, right? It's kind of how AEW and WWE is,
I would say
analogy,
it's more like the difference between Deadpool and Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I'm trying to think.
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, as a comic nerd, I will reject that because Deadpool and Spider-Man are very much intertwined if you actually read the comics. But would you have an analogy that's better than both of ours, Jamie? Because you didn't seem like either of our analogies.
Of course I do.
It's
So-
here comes your horror movie. All right, go for it.
Basically, yes. So it's like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. Both of them are slashers, so they are in the same genre, but they have different things. Like if you want somebody who kills people in their dreams, you got that. If you want somebody who just kills people with machetes and throws them up against a tree while they're in their sleeping bag, you got that. But they're in the same genre. So that's why like NBA and the Major League Baseball doesn't work, because it's the same thing. They're playing the same sport. So this is the same sport. Killing.
Sure.
It works for me.
I like mine better.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the comment that's going to infuriate you. Actually, I am.
You've never
I've
watched
never seen
one of
either.
them.
I've never seen either movie. No. Never seen any Nightmare on whatever. I've never.
You know,
never-
that explains a lot.
How does that explain
I
a
don't
lot?
even know what to say.
See, but it
Not into
explains a lot,
horror
doesn't it?
movies. I don't care about horror movies, man. What's the big deal? Everybody's got their thing. So there's 3 very good analogies for you, depending on what your flavor is. Take your pick. But I agree. I think I agree with him. That makes sense.
It's the same sport.
It's cool. We're good. All right. Speaking of AEW, so I saw today on Twitter a thing. AEW tweeted. I don't know if you saw this or not, Jamie, but they had tweeted an update. So, some of their shows that they had scheduled just were flat out canceled last year, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's been a handful that have been rescheduled tentatively and pushed back, and then rescheduled and then pushed. That whole game. Everybody's been doing it. Jamie and I are supposed to go see Rage Against the Machine last year. That got pushed back till this year in July, and now we're going to go in May of 2022 to see them. I mean, it happens to everything going on, right? Did you see that, by the way? Yeah, I texted you about that, Jamie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So AEW tweeted out a live event schedule update. So their June 30th show in Houston, Texas, and their July 14th show at Milwaukee, Wisconsin have been pushed back and rescheduled for Wednesday, August 18th for Texas and Wednesday, August 25th for Milwaukee. Why am I bringing that up? Because if I'm not mistaken, that gives us a target date for when there's going to be live wrestling shows. Knock on wood, August-ish, right? Is that what you guys read that too?
That makes my heart happy if that's true. And I wish, what I really wish?
From AEW's official Twitter.
I wish they would just push back Milwaukee one more week, because there is a certain city between both of those, and it's not necessarily Chicago, but that's where they go. And I'd go to Chicago to watch some live wrestling.
It's only an 8-hour drive. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Why don't I go to Milwaukee? I was born in Milwaukee. It's an awesome town.
All right, let's do it.
Go up there,
August
say what's up to
25th?
Locane.
I'd be cool with that. Yeah, go see them
go
all
catch a
stomping
Brewer
grounds.
game. Yeah, catch a Brewers game too. Yeah, man.
Oh, all right.
Man.
We're making plans now. Then all right, we're gonna talk about this after we're done recording, because I'm stoked about this, because it's supposed to. You got a vacation planned for later this month, Jamie, and
I got the time.
Me and my friends are like floating around this idea about doing a friends vacation, right? But they all have kids. Let's be honest.
It's difficult.
It's not going to happen. I mean, as much as we say it will, I'm the only one that's like, hell yeah, let's book it right now. And they're like, whoa. One of those things. So, which both these guys understand. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. So that gives us a target date for when we could potentially see actual touring live wrestling. So hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right, Jamie, why don't you go ahead? There was some interesting things going on in New Japan, right?
Yeah, actually there is. So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, Will Ospreay is the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Shingo Takagi at Genesis, Sakura Genesis. So right before that match was done, I don't know if everybody saw this announcement, but Okada will be facing the winner of that match now. That is confirmed at the upcoming Grand Slam. So you're going to see Will Ospreay and Okada.
Ospreay and Okada, that is a spot heaven wet dream.
Yes, you get the Rainmaker. So I'm a huge Okada fan. I know Nicholas, young boy Nicholas, you're not exactly familiar with the Japanese wrestlers. That's fine.
Not
You
yet.
have time.
Not yet.
You will. And then as soon as I get you access to watch the 7-star match of Okada versus Kenny Omega, you will officially become a fan.
You at least watched Ospreay versus Ricochet's matches, didn't you?
Oh yeah, those were
good.
fantastic.
Okay.
I'll tell
You know
you this,
Ospreay.
though,
You know half the battle there. That's great. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, I was just gonna say I tried signing up for New Japan on their website the other day.
Yeah,
Man, it's a little
Japanese.
It's hard to navigate. It's hard to navigate. So I'm gonna take another stab at it when I've got a little more patience.
Yeah. Well, luckily, like Google has a translator, but it still doesn't help that much.
It still doesn't help that much. Yeah.
Google Translate only gets you so far on Asian scripts. It really does.
And then everybody, if you do want to get into New Japan, you go to NWJP, NJPWworld.com, and only for 999 yen a month. $9.99. Sorry. You can get the streaming of all New Japan. But anyway, so that is going to take place at the Tokyo Dome of all places too. So,
ooh, is it going to actually have fans too?
Yeah, Wrestle Grand Slam at the Tokyo Dome. They've been having fans. So
They have been?
Japan's had fans. Yes.
I didn't think they had any fans back yet.
Isn't that where Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson?
Yes, it is. And this is going to happen.
There you go.
And guess what day this is going to happen, boys?
When is that?
May 29th.
What's
The
that?
day before Double or Nothing.
Wow.
It's a big weekend.
And you're going to be on vacation in Florida. Ha 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 ha.
This is going to be the first one I don't get to watch unless I find some way to stream it like through Reddit or whatever. Okay, so we also have the news of I don't know if anybody who's familiar with Evil, but he is in a feud right now with Toru Yano. I am not a big fan of Toru Yano. I just know he exists, just to be honest. So they have a match coming up, and like they've had this big rivalry for a while. It's one of those like slow burns, which New Japan has a lot of slow burns. So if you're not into slow burns, you might not like it, but they do it right. They actually do.
Well, their schedule is much more conducive to slow burns because they don't have like the American schedule where it's like every single week at the same time. You know, I don't know. I can't ever figure it out, but it's like more sporadic when they're doing their stuff. So it makes more sense for them.
I'm good with the slow burn as long as it's building continually. If you're just doing the same thing you did 3 weeks prior, then, you know, you're going to lose me.
Yeah, so the big thing about this whole feud was at Sakura Genesis, the lights went out when Toru Yano was facing off against Dick Togo. The lights got turned off, and then the lights popped on. Evil surprised Yano to secure the win. He blindfolded him and rolled him up for the win. So he blindfolded him. So that's a big piece because these two men have came up with two completely different stipulations, and it's going to be up to the fans, which I think is really cool.
That's awesome.
So there's either going to be Creation of Darkness blindfold match.
I love this. This is my favorite.
It's distinct from the traditional blindfold match, which I did not know there was a traditional blindfold match until I got into this. So they'll start with 4 blindfold hoods on each of the 4 corners, and the only way to win is to get your competitor hooded and blindfolded first. And then you got
So once you get them hooded, then regular rules come in. You can win by pinfall, submission, count out, or DQ.
Yep.
Or KO, excuse me.
Yes. So that is, but you have to get them blindfolded first before any of that stuff happens.
I love that. That's great.
So then Evil, he comes up on top of that, and he's like, okay, well then we're gonna do the first ever darkness match. And then as soon as I heard that, I'm like, where's Rick James?
That's what I was just saying. Darkness. Darkness.
So in this rule set, this rule, the very first 3 minutes of the match, the lights will be turned off and then turned back on in 30-second intervals. So on, off for 30 seconds. Then after that, forever how long the match is, it's 30 seconds of darkness for every 3 minutes of light until a decision is rendered.
That's interesting.
I mean, that's just when you really break it down, that is bonkers.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I hope that I like the first one because I don't know how. I mean, how do you know what's going on? It's all darkness. Is this complete darkness? Because that's the thing. Is it complete like blackout, like darkness, or is it just like turn off all the lights in the place and then any ambient lights, whatever? Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah. So the last bit of news I have, and honestly, as much as I love Okada, I think this one could be bigger.
Excuse me.
So right after AEW happened and we had the official heel turn of the Young Bucks,
mm-hmm.
Gorilla's Destiny tweeted at Jon Moxley saying, pretty simple, if you need help, just ask.
I mean, that makes me tingle. I don't believe it'll happen, but it makes me tingle.
The Bullet Club coming to face the American version of the Bullet Club because of all the Twitter feuding that's been going on.
Well, it's more than Twitter feuding. They abandoned the rest of the Bullet Club to form the Elite when they were still together.
Yeah,
that's the whole point why they said we're better than the rest of the Bullet Club, and that's where the Elite was founded before they even left.
So, yeah, Tama Tonga was the one who reached out and was like, if you need the help, you got it. So
he also is good at trolling, though. That's why I don't believe it.
I know, but he's been saying some stuff like he said, he's been talking to the Good Brothers. You know where the money is. If you want to match, I really think because the forbidden door is gone, this is the moment. This right here would be perfect.
Here's okay. If I can,
or whatever it is.
Well, you made the very good point over the weekend or last week, whatever, that Florida is very soon, if not already, allowing. I think by the time Double or Nothing happens, I don't remember what you correct me on this, but they're going to be allowing full attendance, right?
Full capacity is actually available now for anybody.
In Florida. It's up to the venue and if they choose to. Right,
same
sure.
as Texas. Yeah, them in Texas.
Right,
of course,
right.
The most Republican
so
states.
I would not, if it happens, I could very well see something happening around the time when AEW starts doing full capacity or fuller capacity. Because
that pop would be insane.
I mean, I don't think they're going to start this week on Dynamite starting to do full capacity, just knowing the cons, and they're being very, cautious with everything, which is that's fine, right? I mean, we're still technically in a pandemic, right? But I think that before the summer that we will be there to a point where it will be safe to do that, and they will do that. And I think that would be a great time to do that because that's what you get the payoff for. I hate to say it like this, but you don't want to. You almost cringe to see that big of a pop, that big of a reveal. Get the same sort of thing that Huber got, or Broken Matt got, or didn't get because there was nobody there to see it. Those are the things that deserve the big pop. So that's my guess. Maybe that's me fanboying it or too much, but I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I for some odd reason I feel like this is going to be a real thing, and by the time if it's Double or Nothing, like if they set up something for Double or Nothing, That would be amazing. Like or blood and guts, because they have enough guys for blood and guts for
They're,
sure.
they're not. They already have a blood. They're not going to do 2 blood and gut matches. There's no way. Not a chance. It's on TV. They don't have the time for it.
That's why you do one on pay-per-view, bruh.
They won't. They won't do that. I bet you. I'll tell you what they will do. They will do a big ass match for All Out.
Yeah, or Double or Nothing.
I mean, Double or Nothing's coming up in what, a few weeks though.
45 days.
Yeah, because you're going to be on vacation. You have a clock on your head.
Show do.
All right. Well, I mean,
45 days.
I just don't believe it'll happen, just because I know that they're teases, you know. But if it does, trust me, I'm with you. I think it'd be glorious. We'll see what happens.
I might shit my pants if it really does happen.
Do you have any more New Japan stuff going on?
No, there's just little things talking about New Japan
okay.
Strong, which is the United States stuff. Leo Rush is just killing everybody. They represented really well at Bloodsport. That's kind of funny that we talked about that. That was another indie thing that happened at Tampa. So yeah, no, they were represented really well with the New Japan Strong.
There was
nothing major yet.
If you follow wrestling Twitter, there was a lot of small indies. I think Murder Mania happened, which was like which was the death match thing. IWG, was it IWC, whatever. So there's a bunch of little stuff going on. There was a bigger event that happened this week besides WrestleMania. I know, weird that if you're a semi-major or major promotion in America, you put a pay-per-view on during WrestleMania, but Impact Wrestling sure as hell did. So on Saturday, they had one of their signature pay-per-views, Hardcore Justice. So I don't get the point. I think it's a bad time to do it. You could have done it the week after, but whatever. Now, one of the interesting things is Rebellion is coming up on the 25th. That's the one where Kenny Omega is challenging Rich Swann in a title versus title match, which is technically a title versus titles match, because Rich Swann is the combined TNA Impact heavyweight champion. So interesting. I don't think that's going to have a clean finish. I just can't see them going that far, you know. But Kenny is a title collector. So anyway, Hardcore Justice happened this past weekend. And I'm just going to go and tell you about what happened there with it. So there was 9 matches. Started off Josh Alexander. Shout out Josh. He's a guy we talk with quite a bit on Twitter. Josh Alexander, formerly of the North. TJP and Ace Austin. Ace Austin is the current X Division champion. The 3 of them are facing off on Rebellion for the X Division title. So for Hardcore Justice, they each could choose their own tag team partner and have a triple threat tag team match. So TJP chose Fala Ba, Ace Austin chose Madman Fulton, and Josh Alexander chose a returning Petey Williams for his partner. And the originator,
the creator of the Canadian
Destroyer. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Back in Impact. Yes, that's what I love. Team Canada. Yes. Back in full forth here. So Alexander and Petey won. And then next match.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Hell yeah. Of course he's got to win. Next one was a chairly legal match. It's a chair match. Shera defeated Hernandez, Supermex, hit him with a chair, which led to him getting a pin. So boom, that, you know, Shera won that. Doc Gallows one-on-one beat Black Taurus, who, if you have not seen this guy's gimmick, go on Twitter, go on Impact, look it up.
It's frightening.
He literally is a minotaur in the ring.
He's frightening looking. Like
he's a big sumbitch, and he looks like a minotaur. It's great.
It looks like you have no safe words with that guy.
Oh yeah, no. Your safe word is whatever he wants it to be.
he's like the guy from 9mm. Like
yeah.
Machine.
Yeah.
The Machine.
So Doc Gallows beat him. Next one you have Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona and Brian Myers are actually feuding. If you didn't know this, they have a podcast together. We talk about wrestling figures because they're giant wrestling figure nerds, right? But they're actually feuding in Impact. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it is Zack Ryder and oh crap, crap. Anyway,
He saw Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins, thank you. I was like,
He sucked. Kurt Hawkins.
I was like, what is Brian Myers? Anyway, that's who they are. So, Cardona beat Johnny Swinger in a mystery crate match. This is an interesting match. This is where 4 crates, each containing different weapons, are put like in the 4 corners, and you get to a crate, you can use those weapons, right? So, Matt Cardona won that. Then a straight match, Sami Callihan, he beat Sam Beal. Sami Callihan's a beast. He's a beast. We'll be talking about him quite a bit, I know. Jake, what's my name? That's where you...
No.
No. Jeez, really? Really?
No.
Oh.
No.
All right, so Jake Something beat Brian Myers in a hardcore blindfold match. This is why I like Hardcore Justice. They just like, you know what, let's just make shit up and go with it, right? So Matt Cardona ended up bringing the final mystery crate that wasn't open during his match, gave it to Jake Something, who then used it as a weapon. The crate was filled with action figures, which is a nice touch. There was a women's match to determine the number 1 contender. It was Rosemary Jordan Grace, Jordan Grace, Alicia Edwards, Havoc, Sue Young, and Tenille Dashwood. And it was a 6-way weapons match to determine number 1 contender for Revolution.
Which Sue Young? Was it Susan or whatever she goes by? Or is it actually Sue Young?
I didn't actually see it, but here it said Sue Young. And it looks like, yes, it was actually Sue Young. So it was no longer Susan. It was no longer the corporate. It was the old, the ring Sue Young.
Which I love.
She was great. She was great. They've been teasing that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're trying to like, this isn't you. This isn't you. Sue. No, there's no Sue. It's Susan. No, you're Sue. So she came back as Sue Young. Anyway, and it's interesting. The note here, I didn't watch this, unfortunately, but it says here that Susan was attacked by Sue Young. Yes, really, before the bell. So they had someone else dressed as Sue Young. I don't know what happened there. That's I'm gonna go watch this as soon as we're done recording too. But Tenille Dashwood won. She got the win. So she's going to be facing Deonna Purrazzo because Deonna Purrazzo beat Jazz to retain her knockout championship in a title versus career match. So Jazz, the legend, retired. Now,
she's
we
gonna
all
be
know
Ric Flair retired.
Right. We're being retired in wrestling is like dying in a comic book. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. We'll see. But technically retired right now. Taking a break. Who knows? Whatever. The main event was the Hardcore War. It was Eric Young and his team, Violent by Design. So Eric Young, Joe Doring, Diener, and the War Machine Rhino. They defeated Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Eddie Edwards, and Trey Miguel in the Hardcore War. Tommy Dreamer was apparently attacked before the match and was replaced by Miguel. He was supposed to be in it. So Young ended up getting the pin. He got the win. It's basically Violent by Design. If you're familiar with NXT when EY was there, it's basically the same faction that he had in NXT.
Sanity,
thank you. I couldn't remember the name. Without all the crazy costumes, more or less. It's just their thing is they just beat people up hard. They're crazy psychopaths, but they don't look like crazy psychopaths. They look like just regular dudes. So EY's great. I love that. So update for the card on the 25th for Rebellion is TNA title match. Like I said, Swan versus Omega, title versus title. The World Tag Team title match is the rematch for the Good Brothers and Finn Juice. Coming back over from Japan. Knockouts titles, Tenille Dashwood versus Deonna Purrazzo. Triple threat for the X Division, TJP, Josh Alexander, and Ace Austin, who's the current champion. And then there will be a Knockouts title match. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. Love Kiera Hogan. They don't know who their opponents are yet, but there will be a tag titles match. So that's the updated card for Rebellion.
Well, if Sue Young's actually back, then it'll probably be Sue Young Havoc, and I'm in on that.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's on the 25th. I'm going to find a way to watch that because we're going to talk a lot more about Impact, like I said, moving forward. I was you've heard me say, I was a giant TNA fanboy when TNA was at its rise, pre-Hogan, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels.
I loved it then too.
Beer Money, the Young Bucks when they were their generation, me, Team 3D, you had Christian Cage, who Jamie hates. But you had Sting. That's where Sting went after, because he wouldn't go. So Sting
then he did
there.
The crazy Sting. That's when it got stupid.
Well, that was post Hogan, yeah. But the Sting versus Abyss, who by the way, Chris Park, he was a producer for the. They announced the producers for the matches from Mania, and he was the producer for the which one was it? It was the Riddle versus Sheamus match. Oh. So. Because Chris Park finally, I mean, he's so beat up he can't wrestle anymore. I loved Abyss. So, anywho, we'll give you more updates on Impact. Starting next week, we're going to give you regular segments, Impact and New Japan, and we're going to still talk about WWE. So why don't we just do that now and get it out of the way? Because you tell we're not excited because it was the Raw after Mania. Usually the Raw after Mania is the best Raw of the year, right? It's 100%. It's got that pop. It's got the people that buy the all weekend package, right? They go to the Hall of Fame. They go to this. They go to Saturday. They go to Sunday. They come and then they go home Tuesday. So. You don't have that with the fans this year, so that was missing. But it's usually a time of returns, of debuts, new angles, because it's kind of like in the church year. They say that this is the start of the church year at Easter, or the end of the church year at Easter. Well, WrestleMania is supposed to be the end of the wrestling year, and then you start fresh, right? Okay, so how do they do that? They start with Bobby Lashley coming in. He's confronted by Riddle, and you're like, oh, a new feud. Okay, cool. That's going to be great, right? Right? Well, they start with that match, and no, he just beats the crap out of Riddle. So,
bad.
So much for that. By the way, like we said last night, Tom Phillips is not there anymore. He's doing 205 Live and other special projects for WWE. So you have Adnan Virk back. He used to announce for WWE back in the day. Most recently, he was with the Major League Baseball Network.
And he still is.
He still is. So this is not his full. Okay, gotcha. He's actually a very good play-by-play man, so I don't mind that. Plus, we get the reunification of Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. Yes, the announcers were one of my highlights of this show, if that gives you any indication about where I'm going here.
Shut up, Saxton.
It was great. Hearing Corey Graves yell at Saxton is almost worth putting up for most of this stuff, right? It's like
almost.
I said almost. Okay. Then you get a return, right? And it's going to be the Viking Raiders coming back. So Ivar's now totally healed. They're good. So they face off against Sheldon Alexander. I did that last night, twice too. And anyway, Sheldon Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Viking Raiders got the win. It's good to see him back. And then you get a Flair return. Charlotte Flair's back. And I'm 50-50 on this. And here's why. Her promo that she came out afterwards, it was vintage Flair family goodness. It was an arrogant, entitled, just nose in the air, I'm better than you, go F yourself. It was what it's what I've been saying she needed to do 3 years ago. Stop trying to be this excellence of sporting execution and be a Flair, damn it. And she's finally doing it. Well, she calls out the entire roster. So the promo I liked. I liked that promo. I don't know if you guys liked it, or not.
It was a little long-winded.
It was long-winded, and I felt like she did it 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, or however long ago. I felt like this is damn near the exact same promo.
It was long-winded, but I didn't mind the promo. And then after that, you had because you always got to have one, is a WrestleMania rematch. It was Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. And she ended up coming out, Charlotte that is, and interfering in the match, hitting them both, and just basically beating them both up. So Rhea being a heel, that lasted literally WrestleMania night. That was it. So it's who knows what's going on with this.
So my highlights of this whole thing was it looked like Rhea Ripley on her tights or her pants or whatever you want to say. It looked like she had the Babadook's face on her thigh, which I thought was pretty cool.
I saw that.
But the other thing was, and this is where Jamie started getting pissed. So
this is where night turned. Let's be real.
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed seeing the War Raiders. I'm not calling them the Viking Raiders. They are the freaking
Thank you,
War
Jamie.
Raiders.
I appreciate
Well,
that.
they're War Machine technically, if you
War
really want to
Machine,
get to
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so when she goes, "There's no one in the back that can beat me. I'm the best." There is a certain music that should have freaking played right then and there, and somebody with red hair should have came out and just beat the shit out of her. But no. You know why? Because WWE is so goddamn dumb. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah. They've ruined the man character anyway. And there's no they won't do that because that's what makes sense. That's the blood feud. You keep that going. Like if you had all of a sudden, all the guys from the late 90s come back, you don't have Stone Cold and The Rock on separate shows. You put them together. Yeah. It's the same thing here because apart, they're okay. Together they're
fireworks.
Gold.
Yeah, fireworks.
Didn't happen. No Becky Lynch at all tonight. She'll probably be this Friday on SmackDown because that's where her baby daddy is. Who knows? Anyway, they go on. There's some promos. They do some recaps throughout the night. I'm not going to talk about all the stuff. There was Alexa's Playground. So we were saying we wanted to get. We were giving this a little bit of leeway, right? So we wanted to see what has to play out. Well, in true WWE fashion, instead of getting it, they just basically give you the ending to the movie at front, and then you're going to work backwards. Like, really? So, basically, Alexa and Bray are splitting up, They're unholy union. It's a two separate evil. It's like, why? Why? We finally got the Sister Abigail character, and Alexa, and I wrote this down here, she was rescued by the darkness, but then the darkness went away, and it was without that darkness she realized how powerful she really was. Like, what the fuck is this shit? It's like, why are you breaking this up after you get there and immediately you go, shit, no, it's over. What the fuck? I'm sorry for the language. It just drives me crazy.
No, it's justified.
I was into that last night. I did it. It was good, and then they just.
Yep, Billy Zane. I'm Billy Zane. I grabbed a kid, and I'm on a lifeboat. Done. I'm done. I'm not going down with that shit.
Hey,
That's why I say I'm Billy Zane.
I just want to state for the record, I abandoned that shit show like a month ago.
You were the first one off. And kudos to you, because I'm like, no, I know there's more to come, and there was.
Dude, I can tell when somebody's making something up as they go along.
As soon as they got there, it's just, oh my god, it's just.
So here's the thing that might redeem it, which I know it probably won't. Rumor has it there's going to be a Fiend versus Fiend match at WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh, so they're going to have the crispy Fiend versus the original Fiend?
Or two separate versions of the same Fiend.
Like Bray and his brother basically
exactly.
dressed as
that's the whole thing, but
Fiend.
one of the Fiends is going to be with Alexa. So that's the whole thing. So if that happens, okay, I get it. But this whole she doesn't need him now after all that she went through with all I'm bringing him back, and had the Jack in the Box, and then literally 180 the night next,
night after. Like if this came like in Backlash in 5 weeks, okay, fine, right? But no, the night after.
Yeah,
she makes her own puppet now. It's a friend called Lily. It's stupid.
It's the dumbest damn thing ever. Again, WWE just reiterated to me why they are the inferior brand when it comes to actually making good storytelling. Jiminy Christmas.
I was defending them up until this because, like I said, and here you go. You got Charlotte back. You got the arrogant Flair. You could easily have your top babyface come out to meet her. You don't do it. And then you follow that up with shitting on the thing that you put a year's work into instantly. Just shitting on it. It's like, why? You get some matches after that. I'm moving forward. So you get some matches after that. Miz and Morrison beat Damian Priest in a Miz wrestles in street clothes and gets stripped down to his underwear match. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win by count out because Mandy's now making because they were making fun of Mandy. They're watching her video of her fall on her butt, and then Nia kept slipping for the rest of the show, and Mandy found this hilarious, and then they finally just left, the two of them, Mandy and Dana. It's not worth it. Okay.
It was done.
Yeah. Don't give the Riot Squad the titles, but keep it on this shit show. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
New Day defeated Elias and Jackson Riker because they're a tag team now, apparently. Whatever.
But they were in their Mortal Kombat gear again, which I was very appreciative of.
I love seeing the New Day. New Day is great. They spit really good fire on New Day is one of the ones that I can always count on them to give me,
They're reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they gave out a call out to DMX and what they were saying, which I really, really appreciated because, respect, rest in peace. But yeah, it was badass.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
It
it.
actually was a double because it was called to DMX and it was a throw out to their Uno game. A lot of respect. That's something they do on the Uno game. Watch Uno on Up, Down, Down every Wednesday. It's freaking hilarious. They've done it for an entire year now. It's great. It was a filler while everybody was first on lockdown. It's now become the best part about Xavier Woods' channel by far. So then you get the Firefly Funhouse. So you're like, okay, this is where you're gonna save this, right? You're gonna save this, and he just spins their wheels. He says he does come out as the Bray Wyatt, as Sweater Bray Wyatt, which I'm happy to see that, right? And he says it's good to be here with all his true friends. That's pretty much it. Then he goes into like a little like televangelist thing about how he's happy to be back and alive. And
and he said he will be back. He said he will be back. So it's like, was that really the Fiend then at the first one? That's where they're starting to plant the seeds that the real Fiend isn't here yet.
Hey,
I
guess
know.
what?
And if you would have done
they're gonna
just
kill
this
that plant real quick. Don't even worry.
If you would have done
I'm
just
already-
this and then a similar little snippet from Alexa would have been fine. But to have her go into this big long dissertation about the darkness and not needing the dark, that's what pissed me off.
Yep.
You end the night with a triple threat match to determine your number one contender because at some point I don't even remember when the hell it was. MVP comes out and was he was out there like doing promos all night, right? But he comes out talking about Bobby Lashley and all this stuff, and interrupted by Drew McIntyre, interrupted by Braun Strowman, who's back in his stupid ass like work gloves and OD Green Army approved stupid shirt. And then Randy Orton, yay! And they all think they deserve to challenge. So Adam Pearce like, I got a great idea. We'll do a triple threat because that's not original. And the winner faces off against Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. The match itself was actually entertaining. This is one of two matches that was entertaining. The other one, it might have just been nostalgia, but to see the Viking Raiders back, that was entertaining.
Yes. Yeah.
And Cedric and Shelton, they can perform, so that was.
But they're jobbers now, which is sad.
I know. 3 weeks they went from top of the litter to straight jobber. So this match was actually, it was a decent enough match. I was already pissed off about the whole Fiend thing, that whatever. But they're sitting there. It ends with a little fury, an RKO on Braun. He goes for the pin. When he gets to 2, he gets Claymored while he's doing the pin by Drew McIntyre, who then gets the pin. So nice little finish. Okay, it's the same damn thing.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
It was the same damn thing. So your number one contender is the guy who's been feuding with the champion for the past. How long did that be, Nick? What, 2 months? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what you said. And then the one part that made me go, like I was like, F this show. There's nothing's gonna bring me back. And of course they always do it. They give you a sliver of hope because at the very end he gets. And I don't want to call this hope, but but a sliver of something. So at the very end, out comes MVP, who stands in the entryway. Right? He just stands there, and McIntyre's at the ring yelling at him and whatever, and then he gets jumped from behind by Dominik Dijakovic and Dio Madden, otherwise known as T-Bar and Mace.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, did he and maybe he's just standing on like approvingly. So you're like, are they going to lose the mask, please, and become part of the Hurt Business? Is that what's going on? Because if they do that, that's cool. It's too late, but it's still cool.
So again, again, WWE had a golden opportunity to bring somebody back or promote somebody from NXT or do something. And what do? They give us T-Boz and Left Eye. Like, come on, man. Like,
at least take their masks off is my thing. Have them come out as themselves. It's okay. We all know. We know who they are. Everybody knows who those 4 people are.
Like,
just take their masks off and have them come out as themselves.
There was two people. Okay, sorry, 3 people that their music could have hit and it would have been perfect. 3 people: Finn Balor, Adam Cole,
definitely not going up.
Brock Lesnar.
Who gives a shit about Brock?
He puts fans in the stands, man. I hate him as much as I do as anybody. I can't stand him. But you know what? You know what though? WWE needs him right now because their product is like what I put in the toilet at least once a day. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, hey, I gotta show you, fellas. I actually expected him to show up tonight, so I got my gear on.
You put your Suplex City shirt on.
I was ready.
I didn't know why you kept saying that because I don't expect to see Brock Lesnar anytime soon in WWE.
Well, I expect
him.
I expect him for the same reason I expect Undertaker and Goldberg every year.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he's not the vintage person that we want right now, but he's the one we deserve right now.
Like you'll see Ronda Rousey before you'll see Brock Lesnar. That's my prediction. Okay, and you're not going to see Ronda Rousey.
That's not what I heard.
You also told me you heard that Becky was going to be at Mania debuting. So.
Well, she kind of trolled everybody. There was one of the guys, like one of the directors, whatever, said that Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey will be coming back this year, very soon for Becky. He said very soon for Becky, and then Becky added fuel to the fire by saying doing the night 1 crap and then the night 2 thing. So. You know, there was rumors that she was going to show up. But
Becky's always been a little bit of a troll to the fans, which is cool.
Yeah. So she got me. So I'm going to say
she still has that. Her character's done to shit, so she has to redeem herself in my book. Becky does.
Yeah, but like one of the Peacock guys is who said it. Like one of the Peacock.
Okay, well, we shall see. You know, overall, this was a shit fest.
Yeah, hardcore shit fest.
I don't even know why I'm giving it a ranking. It doesn't deserve it. You know, but
we have to. We have to.
We have to. It was a shit fest, and I had hope at the beginning. Like I said, started off. Oh, I like this new announced team. Viking Raiders are back. Hell yeah. Oh, Riddle's gonna get involved in the. Okay, there's the new picture. Charlotte's back as a Flair. Oh wait, what just happened? And then as soon as Charlotte came out and interfered, the show just went, boo.
Yes.
Thanks WWE. You had momentum from a good weekend of wrestling. You start off right. It was like, okay, you're doing the right things. And then you're like, hey, Bruce, what should we do next? And you listen to him and you did it. And now JJ's just blah, whatever.
He's not even in the mood for Bruce tonight.
Yeah, Bruce isn't talking tonight.
Well, I think do you agree with me, Jamie? Is that more the thing, too, that we saw what they could have on shows with this weekend, especially Saturday?
With what was on display Saturday gave me hope.
And then they immediately go to this, like not even 48 hours later. It's like immediately back to this, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the way I am. And
it's kind of like the Kansas City Royals. For so long, they give you hope because
like the 90s Royals.
Yeah, they ball out in September, and everybody's like, "Oh, the next year's gonna be great. The next year's gonna be great," and then they lose 100 fucking games. Sorry, but you know, I'm just saying, like, it's that's what they did to us.
Yeah, I agree.
I am used to it, and maybe that's why I keep coming back because I am a Mizzou fan, and I'm just used to getting my heart ripped off and shit on every year. So. I'll watch it again next week probably. I mean, I'm not going to completely abandon it yet just because I want to report on it. And if nothing else, it's a good release. This gives me something to bitch about. I don't know. Screw it. We're not going to be that long in the tooth anymore on this stuff because, let's be honest, they don't deserve it. You guys don't want it. You guys told us what you want. We're listening. We're giving you more Impact. We're giving you more New Japan. We're going to talk about AEW every Thursday like we always do. That's our happy time. So we'll still touch base, though. So That was our Tuesday fallout from Mania, and boy, did it fall hard, fall fast. But a bunch of good stuff going on with wrestling. Like I said, the 25th, we got the next Impact pay-per-view coming up. Rebellion, am I saying that right? Yes, Rebellion. I keep wanting to say Revolution. Revolution was so damn good.
Yeah.
I know, but it was so good.
It was.
So that's what we got. Join us on Thursday. We'll talk about AEW. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to be back with our new format. Tune in to see what Nick's surprise segment is. It's not going to be ASMR. Don't worry. We're not letting him
That's
do that.
what you think.
You remember, you know that I edit these videos, right? I'll just cut you out, We just also there's like a time skip and we're past it, It's that simple. So no, but Nick's gonna have his own little segment. It's gonna be nice. You guys are gonna like it. So thank you for joining us as always. If you are watching on YouTube, feel free, give us a like, give us a subscribe if you so desire. Check out our review from Mania since we were talking about it. See the good things we said before tonight happened. Also, we had the NXT that we released yesterday. Give that a listen if you so desire. But we will be back as we always are on Thursdays for AEW Dynamite review. Join the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Total Spotfest. Me and Jamie's Twitters are shown as below. Tell us what you think. Did you hate this as much as we did? Be honest. Be honest. Just be honest and tell us you did.
It's just a natural reaction.
If anybody listening didn't and thinks that I am just off my rocker, please let me know. Because I don't think I am. I know I'm not. I just want to hear that if somebody does think that, just to see. All right. I'm off my soapbox. Thank you guys for joining us. Nick, say some nice things to the peoples.
Hey, we made it through. It's all downhill from here.
You said that last night, too, when we recorded WrestleMania. You were like, I love you. You said that.
I'm just trying to give the people some hope, man. They just endured Raw.
Jamie, stop me. Take us home.
All right. Well, if you're not down with TSL, I got 4 words up for you. Shame on you, WWE.
Shame.
Shame. Ding, ding, ding. Shame.
I know. I have the app. I should have pulled it up. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you Thursday. Peace.